with the International Civil Liberties Monitoring Group, or iclmg. A few weeks ago, we released an intro video on Bill C-59, the new National Security Act, and broke it down in 7 main sections. Today, I will be talking about the new National Security Review and Oversight mechanisms included in parts 1 and 2 of Bill C-59. The National Security and Intelligence Review Agency, and the Intelligence Commissioner. Before I dive into that, you should know that right now there is only 3 agencies with national security responsibilities. Out of 20 or so, the numbers are unclear, that have an actual independent review mechanism. Those review mechanisms can receive complaints from the public about the agency's conduct, and they also evaluate if the agencies are respecting Canadian laws. Those 3 review mechanisms are the Security and Intelligence Review Committee, or CIRC, which is the watchdog for a domestic spy agency, the Canadian Security and Intelligence Service, or CSIS. The Communications Security Establishment Commissioner, which is the review mechanism for the CSE, or Foreign Electronic Spy Agency. And the Civilian Reviewing Complaints Commission keeps an eye on the RCMP, or National Police. There are many issues with those review mechanisms. They lack the resources to do their work properly. They can host secret hearings with secret outcomes. The reports can be censored by the very agencies that they're supposed to review and the ministers responsible for those agencies. They often can't assess if an agency has broken the law because of poor record-keeping practices, and they have no authority to enforce specific changes. For more details, check out our analysis in the link below. Last June, Bill C-22, an act creating the Committee of Parliamentarians on National Security and Intelligence, was adopted. Its mandate is to review all national security activities, but it is not independent from the government, and it won't accept complaints from the public. There are also several problems with it. The committee won't have the power to compel people to appear or to obtain documents. The committee members won't have access to all the documents and information necessary to do their work. The government will be able to block investigations on vague and broad grounds of national security. Wait a minute. So the government can tell the committee, you cannot investigate this national security matter because it's a matter of national security. And if the government blocks the committee's access to information, specific investigations, or sections of the reports from being made public, the committee won't be able to seek judicial review of these decisions. The Liberal government failed to fix these issues, so we are afraid that the Committee of Parliamentarians won't be able to fulfill its mandate properly either. Okay, now back to Bill C-59 and the new National Security and Intelligence Review Agency. The agency sounds great, and we've been advocating for this kind of review mechanism since the dawn of time. I mean, since it was recommended by Justice O'Connor in his report on the Commission of Inquiry into the case of Meher Arar, 11 years ago. Meher Arar is a Canadian citizen who was sent to, detained, and tortured in Syria because of erroneous information sent by Canadian officials to US agents. There was a subsequent inquiry into the cases of Abdullah al-Malki, Ahmad al-Mati, and Muayya Nuruddin were also detained and tortured because of erroneous information sent by Canadian agents. They all received apologies and compensation from the federal government, although the last 3 men only received reparations this year. One of the critiques of Justice O'Connor was that the review mechanisms we've seen earlier were all working in silos, meaning that they could not communicate or share information, even regarding operations involving more than one agency. That led to huge gaps in oversight and a lack of accountability for human rights abuses. This new agency will review all Canadian national security activities. This review is desperately needed, but it's important to remember that no amount of review will ever make up for bad laws like C-51, the Anti-Terrorist Act of 2015. We think that the agency is strong overall. It is an integrated review mechanism that will look at all national security activities. It has good powers to compel witnesses. It has extensive access to information. It will look at the national security activities of the Canadian Border Service Agency, CBSA, but it is worth mentioning that CBSA will still be lacking review for its non-national security related activities. But there are some weak points too. 1. Right now, the members would be appointed by the government, although that's who they're reviewing. 2. The agency is not able to make binding recommendations, and most of the time the agencies don't accept or follow the recommendations. 3. It is like a super CIRC, the CSIS review mechanism, so it comes with the same old problems. The government lacks the expertise and the powers to oversee what the agencies are doing. because everything is so secret. The media, citizens, and courts who investigate the police or the government when they make mistakes cannot do that with national security agencies. Some use access to information requests, but most of them are blacked out and useless. And that's when you know what to ask for in the first place. Also, it's a complaint-based mechanism. But how can you file a complaint if you don't know that you're being spied on? And if you bring a complaint, you won't be able to talk about the hearing, and you won't necessarily be allowed to hear the government's response. Even worse, the recommendations could be so top secret that they won't even tell you what they are. There is no compensation or reimbursement of legal fees or redress, even if abuse was found. CERC and the courts have been intentionally misled by CSIS on several occasions in the past, and Bill C-59 is not addressing those problems. Check out the video of our panel on C-59 for more details. Now let's talk about part 2 of Bill C-59, the new Intelligence Commissioner. The Intelligence Commissioner would replace the Communications Security Establishment Commissioner and would give him or her the power to approve ministerial authorization for intelligence gathering before they become operational. This oversight before surveillance takes place is a first in Canada, in a welcome addition. However, we think it should be a lot stronger. Avenues for appeal and consulting should be added, and its reporting should be public. In the US, similar oversight bodies working in secret have granted near 100% approval. To avoid that, we need a bit of sunlight on the process. That's it for Bill C-59's new oversight and review mechanisms. Stay tuned for our next videos on the new CSIS and CEC powers, on the changes to the Security of Canada Information Sharing Act, or SCISA, changes to the no-fly list regime, and to the criminal code. Let us know what you think in the comments, and if you have any questions that you would like us to answer. We can include them in future videos. Check out our website, subscribe to our emailing list, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and become a supporter on Patreon. The links are in the description below. Make sure to like and share the video, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel to be notified when our next videos come out. Thanks for watching.